Hi, welcome to our channel Good New. Do you realize how strong the Sino-Russian connection is, to the point where Russia sells domestic key technology to China over US opposition? What precisely is the technology that has sparked such heated debate in the United States? Are China and Russia actual friends, or just a business relationship? Welcome to Eyes of Genuine China, a location where you may find the real China. Every day, we will focus on the most recent and popular Chinese news and investigate the underlying truth and philosophy behind the news. Please subscribe to our channel and enable the notification bell before we begin today's video. Let's have a look at the topic we'll be discussing today. Following the outbreak of the Russian-Ukrainian war, the Biden administration imposed sanctions on Russia not only in the financial realm, but also in the scientific and technical realm. On March 8, U.S. Commerce Secretary Gina Raimondo stated that Russia will almost probably seek assistance from China in coping with sanctions and export controls. However, if the U.S. discovers that any Chinese enterprises disregard U.S. export prohibitions and continue to serve Russia, their supply chain in the U.S. will be cut off as well. There appears to be agreement that China will assist Russia in its problems. It's all because the two nations are so close. There are no lasting friends, only permanent interests. It's only mutual usage, and China should be cautious of Russia, but Russia's latest step has demonstrated its seriousness. Despite the US's repeated strong opposition, Russia has turned over critical aerospace technology to China, causing the US to fear. What exactly is going on? Let's go over it in more depth in today's video. It is well known that Russia is quite advanced in the aerospace area, but China is rather behind, therefore development is likewise gradual. Despite the fact that China has a large number of rockets and a certain mileage significance, it is still falling behind in aero-engines. As we all know, the rocket engine, like the human heart, is one of the most important components in the structure of the rocket. The advancement of engine technology can not only increase the success rate of rocket launches, but also significantly increase launch efficiency. The United States and Russia were the first countries to enter the aviation industry, and they are also reasonably developed countries. Both the US and Russia are pushing their own engines, but the US will not surrender the fundamental technology of the engine no matter how much money China pays. But Russia's approach is different. After all, China and Russia have long had a cordial and cooperative relationship. It is important noting that Russia stated as early as 2016 that it would not supply relevant technologies to any country. Unexpectedly, the building of China's Tiangong signaled a watershed moment. Finally, Russia agreed to sell technology to China for 50 billion yuan. The stance of Russia took the United States off surprise. China's aircraft sector will benefit greatly from Russia's assistance. The partnership between China and Russia has put a lot of pressure on the United States now that Russia has declared its involvement in China's space station. According to reports, the United States spent $1 billion in 1997 to acquire the engine of Russia's newly constructed RD-180 rocket. Russia was hesitant to offer the technology to the US at the time, but due to tremendous US pressure, it could only sell the final product in the end. The United States attempted, but failed, to imitate Russia's core technology through the method of anatomy. The engines acquired by the United States with large quantities of money are not only ineffective, but have also failed to make technological advances. Later, as the two sides' relationship became more strict, they gradually became rivals. Although the US claimed that it would no longer use Russian engines, this significantly hampered the rocket's launch in the US. Because of the stagnated engine technology, the US had to bow its head for a period before actively putting forward the purchase demand to Russia and purchasing a number of RD-180 and RD-181 type engines again. However, Russia has created a new generation of RD-182 engines at this time, demonstrating Russia's leadership in the area. In contrast to China's engine development history, China's aero-engine development began quite late. Engines were employed to drive propellers and rotors from the beginning of piston-type aero-engines, and the power of large-scale engines could exceed 2,500 kilowatts. It was later supplanted by high-power, high-performance gas turbine engines. Gas engines, such as turbojet engines, turbofan engines, turboprop engines, and turboshaft engines, are commonly utilized. They all have presses, gas chambers, and gas turbines. The turboprop engine, for example, has a top speed of less than 800 km per hour. The turbine engine is the primary source of power for the helicopter, followed by the ramjet engine. It is distinguished by the absence of a compressor and a gas turbine. Ramming during high-speed flight pressurizes the air entering the combustion chamber. The construction is simple, and the thrust is powerful, making it ideal for high-speed flying. Because of its inability to start on its own and poor performance at low speeds, the scope of its use was limited, and it was phased down after a period of inactivity. Engines are critical to aircraft performance as well as the success or failure of aircraft development. And the engine is useful in a variety of situations. Now, the nations that can independently create the engine are making steady development, and engine technology is recognized as the country's vital technology, and a lot of investment has been made to ensure that the engine sector may grow. So yet, China's engines have a maximum thrust of only 4,000 tons. However, Russia met this criteria more than 20 years ago. As a result, the acquisition of Russian-valued engine technology has significantly aided the growth of China's aircraft sector. In summary, given the importance of engines in aviation growth, China will undoubtedly take baby steps. Of course, having someone guide the way in an unknown business is also beneficial. We are all looking forward to the two nations' future collaboration to aid China's aerospace sector. Of course, changes in the world environment will have no impact on Sino-Russian relations, and third-party pressure will be avoided. China will continue to push the development of Sino-Russian ties ahead. At the same time, hedgehog law may be applied to big power relationships, which implies that during the cold season, two hedgehogs go close to each other to gain warmth, but if they get too close, they will stab each other, and if they move too far away, they will not achieve the aim of heating. As a result, they elected to divide the borders while approaching in order to avoid causing injury to one side while still assisting the other party when necessary. As a result, when interacting with people, we must maintain a safe distance in order to establish a better manner of interacting. Finally, I'd like to emphasize that China and Russia are each other's largest neighbors and have a comprehensive strategic coordinating collaboration. Furthermore, President Xi Jinping and President Vladimir Putin frequently meet. Not only is the political connection between the two nations strong, but the economic is also growing as a result of the two countries' numerous collaborations in various industries. With Russia, China has always adhered to the concepts of mutual respect, mutual benefit, and win-win growth. Most significantly, China conducts an autonomous non-aligned foreign policy, and its collaboration with Russia is not intended to harm other countries. Thanks for having your watching in this video. You can add your ideas or suggestions below. Please keep following our channel and like our videos.